Good afternoon. My name is Benedict Nunez,
And I'm Eric Guzman.
and today we'll be talking about assassinations throughout the world.
Whether assassination or assassination attempt, they affect our society in many ways. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th U.S. president. Lincoln had helped stop the Civil War and stop slavery. Abraham Lincoln became known as Honest Abe because he never lied to himself. His assassination had went down as one of the biggest assassinations of all time. His killer, John Wilkes Booth, had said that when he killed Lincoln, that the South was avenged. The aftermath of his death was immediate. The North was mourning for their president, whereas the South was rejoicing for an old enemy that is now dead.
Empress Maya Song was known as the Queen of Korea before Korea was even split. On October 8, 1895, over 50 Japanese agents arrived to Korea and shot her. The reason why this assassination had happened was because Empress wanted to expand her obstacle overseas, but as she did it, she was being harsh to Japan. The aftermath was that Japan had arrested 56 men for their crime, and her death had given Korea more freedom because she got them a stronger army.
William McKinley was the 25th U.S. president. During his presidency, he had helped in the Spanish-American War. He was also the governor of Ohio. He helped with protective tariffs. His assassination changed America because of his actions. His actions had led to creating the Secret Service. His killer, Leon Czolgosz, was an arcanist, so that means he did not see the government helpful or necessary, which also explains why he killed McKinley.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a member of Habsburg dynasty. He was assassinated by Gavrilo Princip. Princip was one of 7 members of Young Bosnia, a Bosnian Serb terrorist organization. He wanted to eliminate Ferdinand and ruling powers to gain independence from Austria-Hungary and to be part Serbia. After his assassination, World War I began because Austria-Hungary threatened Serbia for his assassination. John F. Kennedy was the biggest assassination throughout time, since John F. Kennedy was and still remains as the youngest president throughout history. Lee Harvey Oswald, the assassinator, decided to assassinate him because Commission failed to assign a specific motive, which he became mad at and blames Kennedy. Jack Ruby decides to assassinate Lee Harvey since he felt it was necessary, since he thought that he was innocent, and claims that the rage at Kennedy's murder was the motive for his action. To represent John F. Kennedy's death, there is a fire that will never turn off. The aftermath is that political dynamics of civil rights movement had changed because when he was alive, John F. Kennedy tried to help in the civil rights movement.
Malcolm X was an activist and a writer. Malcolm was a criminal before joining the civil rights movement. He joined a group called the Nation of Islam. After spending a lot of time with this group, he became the prime minister. After being the prime minister for a while, Malcolm felt betrayed because the leader of the Nation of Islam had went against everything they stood for. Malcolm decided to lead the Nation of Islam, but the Nation of Islam was not happy with it. The Nation of Islam constantly sent people to kill him on a daily basis. But on February 21st, 1965, the people from the Nation of Islam had finally succeeded of killing him. After his assassination, a street was named after him, and many people, both black and white, suffered from a depression. And many blacks also lost hope in getting their civil rights.
John Lennon was known for his band called the Beatles and for being a peace activist. His songs were about peace instead of war. Unfortunately, on December 8, 1980, in Dakota, New York, John Lennon was assassinated by a man named Mark David Chapman. Fans reacted to John Lennon's death in an aggressive way. 3 fans had even committed suicide. His assassination had ended his legacy and had changed music forever. Ronald Reagan was the 40th president. Before he was president, he was a movie actor. He was also a big help in World War II by helping new recruits. On March 30th, 1981, in Washington, D.C., Ronald was shot. After the attempt happened, people had become very scared until they figured out that he was still alive. The aftermath was that people had respected him for what he did. As for John Warwick Hinckley, the man who tried to assassinate Reagan, had realized his mistakes after being sent to a mental hospital for 35 years.
Benazir Bhutto was exiled from her country for 9 years. As she came back, she became Prime Minister of Pakistan. She had many supporters and followers, but none could stop what happened on December 27, 2007, where she was shot and fell down into some explosives that killed 20 others as well. Her assassination changed Pakistan because many people fought for a democratic government instead of having someone dictate what they do. Malala stood up for little girls' education, which at the time women did not have. On October 9, 2012, as she was riding a bus from school to home, she was shot on her head by the Taliban. She had recovered from the bullet because of surgery, but she had to remember everything that she had done. Her work had nominated her for a Nobel Prize, and the Taliban men that shot her were arrested. Her assassination attempt had caused many women to start fighting for their rights, as well as starting to get education for themselves as well.